I'm just going to say that I was over here hollering, laughing. It's even funnier when the voice is getting, because I've already laughed at this sitting reading it myself, but I had to make sure that my microphone was off because I was laughing so loudly and hard. It's even better. Thank you for this. This is a gift.
I love that you have this, you know, this nuclear family that's gay people, William and Cameron, because those people are out there and they're going to be a lot more people. I think it's a great opportunity for some kid somewhere saying, look, who has two moms or two dads, and they're like, that's my family, or that could have been us. Like you said earlier, it's about representation, and I think that's gorgeous. And that was the sole purpose of one of the purposes why you wrote it.
I think it's also interesting that with this story, we've chosen for the mom to not be present, and she's coming back into Cameron's life for unfortunate reasons. But I just find it interesting because there's no like stereotype attached to that. It makes me curious to figure out the why.
Well, I've been reading the show for a while, and I am so excited to see it come to fruition. You are all so funny, and it was just so perfect. Ben, it's hysterical. Great, great, great. That's all I got. I'm done.
I'm just happy to see something new because I'm always complaining everything I watch. I'm like, oh my God, does nobody have an original idea out there anymore? Drives me bananas. So
can't name a show that had like Black gay leads, or especially talking about a father-son relationship with Black men. So that was very intriguing to me, and I wrote this pilot with all of these cast members in mind. Like, so I had Manny and Shariba and everyone like in mind when I went to write this, and they're to me like such big people that I was like, I don't think they'll like this. I don't know if they'll be on board, but a little gay boy can dream big. And like I understudied a show where Shariba was my mother, and I also understudied a show where Manny was a father-like character to me. So having had those experiences, I was just like, man, like I would love if they got to be my parents in something. So I wrote this kind of with those people in mind, and like I approached William, who played Dale, with this idea and with this show. And he was like, Ben, I'm not a writer. And I was like, I don't care. Like, you're really funny and we mesh well. And I think we could really be onto something. And there is more. There's actually, we have 6 full episodes of this, but we just wanted to give you all this first episode. And yeah, it's been really cool to talk about, like Asha said, the nuclear family and the expectations, and even like playing with what representation looks like, because a lot of times in Hollywood and in entertainment, like it's all about what it looks like. It's all about presenting this, and this. I'm like, what if we gave you what you wanted, but it's not what it looks like? Like, even though there is like the mother, father, child, it's just not that at all. So really messing with that idea of, sure, I'm gonna give you what you want, mother, father, child, but it's not gonna be in any way anything you would ever imagine. And with these people, it won't be.
I love that you say that, because I know I already talked. I'm sorry. I immediately think about my gay friends who have kids. One of them sent out a Christmas newsletter this year announcing that he just became a grandfather. So anyhow, that just immediately came to mind.
I liked that moment where your character was fighting the mom, and not necessarily fighting, but I liked how she wasn't responding in a motherly way, but also I didn't look at her as the bad guy. And I think it's really important with women too, where women don't always have to be the loving, diehard mother that like the second they see their child they haven't seen ever just starts like bawling and overcome with femininity. And again, I want to see complex women. I don't want to see women that are just, I'm an evil bitch, but I also don't want to see women that are like the Maria Von Trapp, Sound of Music, I love 20 kids. But I like how that was layered and she didn't come off as like just a normal human being. And then also too, yeah, I was sitting here like, I've never seen BIPOC playing real gay characters, because like take for instance Will & Grace, the reboot of it, like there's someone on there, I think his name is like, I forget his name, he's like Latino, and he plays this like over the top stereotypical sitcom gay. And I felt that your character was very approachable because yeah, you had some sitcom one-liners, but at the same time, some of the stuff you threw in, like the quotes about like Meredith Blake and wanting Popeyes and calling people like a biscuit head, I was just like, it's relatable and it's real. And I want to see BIPOC characters that are talking about sugar daddies, but guess what? They're not like sex workers that are like paying a price morally or something like that. You know what I mean? Like we often see people who are people of color that are sexually promiscuous, but then they like take rent, like they're all dying of AIDS. So that's like a moral like bad, you know what I mean? So yeah, I thought it was like very relatable and really good writing.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I also like I wanted to talk about like all these. I guess I have a very complicated relationship when it comes to like representation and what I want to see, and like it's really hard because I'm like I'm Black and I'm queer and I want that to not be ignored, but I don't want that to be the only thing I'm allowed to talk about or be. So for me, a lot of my writing is like, or like I feel like a lot of writing is like, if there's a gay character, we have to make that the forefront. We have to like establish, like they have to say 12 times, I'm gay, I'm gay, I'm gay. So for me, I was like, I just want that to be the norm. I just want that like gay is the standard. Queer is the standard. Like this is the new standard, so that I don't have to sit here and be like, I'm gay, so you know that I'm gay, because if not, if I don't say it 6 times, you'll assume that I'm straight. Because we're just so used to like everything, just like the standard is you're gonna be straight, you're gonna be skinny, you're gonna be white. So I also just really want to be like, we can just exist. We don't have to put a hat on it. We don't have to like say it several times. We don't have to like go over the top with the stereotype, but like getting used to not having to be like, I'm gay and I'm here. Now that I've established that, let's go. But just the simple wash of like, I'm gay from the get-go, and you'll know that eventually.
Yeah, you don't have to say that at all. And there doesn't have to be a confrontation between like him and his dad, or like the mother doesn't have to have a moment where she's like, how do I feel about not like fully 100% being constantly there as a mom kind of thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyone else had any questions or thoughts or just general response?
I have to agree with the fabulous actress who played Jocelyn. I had to make sure, I already knew I was muted, but I had to double check because I was literally like doing a whole, like instead of slapping my knee, I was like slapping the computer top, like, ah! I just was like, I can't even, I was already laughing very early on, but when you came back on and you were naked, I was like, okay. Oh, I had to like leave for a second and come back like, what? Is this a reading? Is this how we're doing Zoom now? But I was like thoroughly entertained. I was like cracking up the whole time. I also just really like each of these characters. And I think someone said it earlier, was like, no one's a bad guy. Like no one's like been like outright like, oh, this is like the person you have to look out for. Like everyone just has a very openness to them. Like already you want to dive into who they are. Like even the character who played Dale, I was like, who is that dude? And like, there's no resolution at the end about who, we don't know anything, but it's a really beautiful opening for each of the characters. And I want to see it on TV. I'm like so excited. I'm so happy to see you guys all did such a lovely job. And I'm coming back. I'm just really excited. So thank you guys. It was so fun. Again, like, listen, if you want to read it again, like it was thoroughly entertaining. And also someone said that before. It's like, it's just new.
Thank you. Yeah.
Like, I loved it. I love that. Thank
you.
you.
I appreciate that very much. And I mean, we do know that Dale is not a prostitute. So that is like the one thing we all do know for sure.
Listen, that's the part that I was hollering on. Georgette, William, and Dale. And William could not get Georgette to say that.
Also, Georgette with the knife.
The knife does make several appearances throughout the other episodes, so don't worry. We did introduce
nice red knife.
Yeah, and it was red too. It was not a basic knife. That was not a basic knife. I was like, oh, I like Georgette. Oh my God. I was just, thank you very much. I loved it.
Thank you. Thank you.
When Manny said, is that the streets? Or is that living on the street? Oh yeah, that had me. I mean, it wasn't the first time I was had, but that had me. But one thing I love, and I know, Ben, this is something like you've really been ready and willing to explore, was that these were, in the grand scheme of things, these were low stakes for these characters. Of course, for the characters, they were high as hell. But in the grand scheme of the identity of Black queerness, you know, these were just some low stakes. They were just, and so because the stakes were so low and so funny, and I wanted to get to know these characters, if you want to, I can completely see in the future, the season finale, I can completely see the stakes ratcheting up and up and up and up to a place that, I mean, like Insecure, I'm sitting there laughing and then I'm sitting there crying. I can totally see that. I can totally see the range. I can totally see anywhere you could take this. And it was just a wild ride. And I'm so glad you all have some other episodes. I want to tune in. Excellent work by the actors. Just a fun Friday. Thank you all so much.
Thank you. Yeah, as I said, there's 6 more episodes that 6 total episodes so far. We do plan on making more. And yeah, it gets wild. The cast, I have shared with the rest of the cast the other episodes that we've written, and it gets wild. There is a musical version, a musical episode for those of y'all who might be into that, where Jocelyn has to direct a version of Rent Jr. at the school she works at. So it gets wild, it gets crazy, and it's a good time. But yeah, it's just like
Georgette's Business took me all the way out. All the way out. I did not recover for hours.
Yeah, so there's other episodes you learn more, like although Dale was kind of introduced later, like Dale and Cameron's relationship really just blossoms in very weird ways in other episodes, and like you learn a lot more about Georgette, and she has a whole bunch of interesting side businesses. So yeah, Ben
knows how to make an actress's dreams come true.
I'm all about having fun, because I feel like so much of our work is so centered about our trauma, and there's totally a place for that, but like I got to a point where I was like, man, I feel like theater used to be my escape, and now I feel like I'm escaping to relive the things I'm living in my everyday. So I really felt like there's no way out of this. I'm like living trauma, then going to experience trauma on stage. So I was like, man, there's got to be another way for us to get an escape and to get a break and to just have fun and show other sides of us as actors, as people. And so yeah, I just been like, man, let's just have some fun. Let's be as funny and zany and weird as possible. So yeah. We probably have enough time for maybe like one or two more questions, comments.
That was one of the things that I think I noticed first, Ben, was kind of what you're talking about, was that this is great to watch a show that isn't about the gayness being an issue. Mm-hmm. It's just who they are, mm-hmm. you know, and things are happening because mm-hmm. they're just people. Mm-hmm. They just happen to be gay. You know, that was a nice change too.
Yeah.
Because like you said, the whole trauma of everything, it's like, oh my God. Mm-hmm. I know it's there, but my God, my head hurts.
Because, you know, surprise, surprise, y'all. Gays deal with stuff that isn't just about us being gay. Straights, it has to be said, you know, being gay is not the only thing that we stress about, you know. So yeah, it was cool to talk about that. And, you know, representation is like, I'm just here and I don't have to make a big speech about it, but I'm here. We're gonna have a good time and eat some Popeyes. So, so yeah. Go ahead.
I have a question. I might be late to the party, but is the sharing of these for funding, right? Like to kind of
yes. Oh yeah. So yeah, that's the big goal of Two Pies, Two Plays, is like, one, to share my work, but also like if you are like, man, I love this work, or man, I'd love to support this or fund this, or like I know someone who would love to support this or fund this, send them my way. There should be in the chat, if not now, but very, very soon, the host will kind of show like that is my PayPal or my Venmo, my Cash App, or if you like want to find me on social media or whatever, like send somebody my way, because yes, I do. We all have worked very hard, and if you love this, then come help me make it a dream and make it a reality and get this out here for people. Because yeah, I feel like these stories are fun and need to be told, and I'm happy that you all like it. So, so yeah, thank you.
That's why I know where I should be spending the money.
Yes, thank you. Yes, send it all in. And I will have a separate account just for those shows, those pilots. My goal is to get the pilot episode produced so that I can send it off, because it's just a lot to like festivals and contests and to networks, and it's just a lot easier when you like actually can be like, this is what this looks like, rather than just like sending them a script, or like, you know, because again, as y'all saw, like when you hear it, you're like, wow, this sounds so much better, so much more real, or like I can see it now because I can see it. So, all right, well, thank you all so much. This has been wonderful. This is like blowing my mind that people really showed up and are here and out here supporting me and stuff. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your night, and do not forget that we will be back next Friday for a play is next week. It's a play called Following. So I hope you will join us for that and enjoy the rest of your night. And just a reminder that these shows will be available even after this reading. So after our show premieres, we'll try to get it up on the Random Act Chicago website probably like the following day. So like give it like a day or two. That way, if you missed it, or if someone missed it and they're like, I'd really want to watch the one I missed, or if you're like, I want to watch this again, it'll be up there for you. So thank you all, and have such a wonderful night. Enjoy.